Good morning, students. Today again we are going to start with the chapter of chemistry, that is metals and non-metals. First of all, classification of elements into metal, non-metals and metalloids. Now talking about it, classification of element, more than 114 different elements has been discovered, and many of them are found to occur in nature, whereas some of them has been made by artificial methods and are called synthetic elements. So based on the property, they have been mainly classified into two categories, that is metals and non-metals. Now, earlier you have studied what are metals. So, beginning with the definition, metals are defined as those elements which possess luster when freshly cut and are malleable and ductile. Malleable means which can change into thin sheets, and ductile which can be changed into thin wires, and good conductor of heat and electricity. They may also be defined as those elements whose lost electrons form positive ions, that is they are electropositive elements. Like sodium, if we talk about sodium, if it loses one electron then it forms sodium ion, and the electron which is being lost is represented here. So a few examples are given below of metals. These are sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, barium, aluminium, copper, silver, gold, platinum, nickel, chromium and iron. Now talking about non-metals. Non-metal are defined as those elements which do not possess luster and neither good conductor of heat and electricity nor malleable and ductile but are brittle. What is brittle? Brittle means if we throw the element on the surface, then it breaks down into smaller particles which have crystalline structure. They may also be defined as those elements which may gain electron from negative ions. So they are electronegative elements like chlorine. Chlorine when accept one electron, it changes into Cl negative ion. A few examples are given below: hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, bromine, sulfur, phosphorus and carbon. Now, beside these, there is a third category of elements which show property of both metals and non-metals. So these elements are called metalloids. Their example are given below like silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, and tellurium. The majority of elements, about 80%, are metals. There are only 22 non-metals and very few are metalloids. Now, what is the importance of metals? Metals have a great importance in our everyday life. They are used for large number of purposes. Now, what are the uses? Number one, like utensils at home are made of metals. In the construction of buildings and bridges. And if we talk about silver and gold, they are used for making jewelry. In making almost all type of machine parts is also is involved with the help of metals. And some material metals such as titanium, chromium, manganese, zirconium, they have a great significance as they are used in countries' defense. Hence, these metals are called as strategic metals. For example, these metals and their alloys are used in atomic energy, space science project, jet engines. They're also used in making high grade steel. Now, talking about non-metals. So, importance of non-metals. Although the number of non-metal is small as compared to metals, yet they play important role in daily life. If we talk about carbon, carbon is one of the most important non-metal because all the life on earth is made up of carbon compound like carbohydrates, proteins, oils, fats, vitamins, enzymes, which all are made up of carbon compounds and are essential for the development, growth and maintenance of living organism. Now carbon is in the form of graphite. It is used in electrodes in electrolytic cells and dry cells. Now, talking about hydrogen, it is present in all the compounds of carbon like carbohydrate, protein, oil, and fat, which are required for growth and development of life. And it is also used in hydrogenation of vegetable oil, okay, to make vegetable ghee. Large amount of hydrogen are also used in manufacture of ammonia. Ammonia is a fertilizer and it is also used as refrigerant. Talking about oxygen, oxygen is also a non-metal which is equally important for existence of life and combustion processes. Okay, so it is present in air and essential for breathing to maintain life. It is most abundant element in earth crust followed by silicon. Nitrogen again is an inert gaseous nonmetal. Its presence in air reduces the rate of combustion and it is mainly used in manufacture of ammonia, NH3, nitric acid, HNO3 and fertilizers. Okay, compounds of nitrogen such as 2,4,6 trinitrotoluene, TNT, nitroglycerin, they are used as explosives. Due to its inertness, nitrogen is also used to preserve food that we have talked in last chapter. Another non-metal is sulfur. It is present in many of the substances found in plants and animals. Sulfur compounds are also present in protein, hair, onion, garlic, wool. Elemental sulfur is used for fungicide and for making gunpowder. Okay, so these were the importance of non-metal. Now, the earliest way to distinguish between metal and non-metal is on the basis of their physical property. So now we will discuss the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Talking about the physical properties, metal in the pure state possess luster. What is luster? Luster is the shining surface. Now, experimental verification we will do. For this, we will take a piece of few metals like those of iron, copper, aluminium, and magnesium and note their appearance. Now, clean the surface of each of these metals by rubbing with a piece of sandpaper. Sandpaper you must have seen. These are used for uh, wall cleaning before the whitewash to make the surface smooth. It is observed that shining surface appears. Now surface of most of the metal they become dull. Why they become dull? When they are exposed to air, there is attack of gases of the air on the surface of metal and they form the layer of oxide. It may be of carbonates or it may be of sulfides. Okay. So use of gold in jewelry is due to its luster which is not lost easily and gold is not attacked by gases of air and it is used similarly silver is also used for making mirrors. It is due to its shining surface which make it as a good reflector of light. Now metals are generally hard and the hardness varies from metal to metal. Experimental verification, take few pieces of metal like those of iron, copper, aluminum, magnesium and try to cut with a knife. We will observe that what you will observe, we require force to cut these different metals. So exception is there except lithium, sodium and potassium. Metals, they are so soft, these three metals, they are so soft that they can be cut with a knife. And take a piece of sodium metal from kerosene oil and dry it by pressing between the folds of filter paper and place it on the filter paper or watch glass and hold it in pair of tongs and try to cut with knife. It is observed that it can be easily cut with the knife. Okay. Similarly, metals are generally malleable. They are beaten into thin sheets that I have told you what is malleability. For this, take a piece of metal like those of iron, copper, zinc and lead and place any one of the block of iron and strike the piece 4 to 5 times with the hammer. So what you will see that metal it changes its shape. So the same result is observed on hitting other piece with the hammer. Okay. First you heat it, then beat with. Sorry, not heating, it is beating. This property of metal is called malleability. Now, metals are generally ductile. Ductile means they can be drawn into wires. Take wires of copper, iron, and aluminium, and these wires must be formed from the corresponding metals by drawing the metals. This property of metal is called ductility. And you must know that gold is most ductile metal, and 1 gram of gold can be drawn into a wire of 2 kilometers. So it is surprising. Now, similarly, we can say that metals are good conductor of heat and possess high melting